The problem is when our incomes don't increase along with the inflation, then we have to fall back on all of these assets that we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we go and take a 401k loan? Do we go and take money out of our IRA? Do we liquidate a CD?
Right.
Or do we have the ability to leverage from an asset that will continue to grow, borrow from it, no banks, no
Yeah.
credit reports, no anything?
Welcome to the Visibility Room, on air and off script. Hey, everybody. It's Karyl Morris from the Image Impact Group and the Visibility Room, on air and off script. And I am here today with Gina Wells from Financial Design Strategies. Gina, welcome.
Thank you so much, Carol. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, I am glad you're here too, because you are a wealth of knowledge when it comes to finance and financial designs and setting people up for success. Yeah. So before we get started, I do want you to just give kind of an overall view of who you love to work with and what it is about what you do that makes it so special to you.
Yeah. I love to work with families who care about their money and who are serious about their money and who don't like it to be leaving their pockets.
Yeah.
Right? I like them to be friendly and fun.
Yeah.
Because even though financial planning may be serious, I like it to be relaxed and, in an atmosphere that they're comfortable talking to me about their personal lives, because that's really what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for you in particular, building a relationship, an actual relationship with people is really important, which I totally get and totally appreciate about the style that you work within. And we're going to dive deep into some questions that I have about financial planning and such. But first, we need to do our rapid fire questions. So you ready?
Okay.
I know. What first impression do you want others to have of you?
That I'm friendly and approachable.
Yes. And I think you do a great job of that, knowing you for many years now. Favorite way to connect with people, virtually or in person?
Wow, I've gotten so used to virtual connections now that it's gotten pretty easy. I definitely love to be, here with you and with other people, but it has come since COVID and even before COVID, Carol, I was doing Zoom conferencing because I'm licensed in about 20 different states.
Yes.
And it gets that way because I hit referrals from
Yeah.
other people in other states. So I get licensed that way. So there are some of my clients I've never met in person.
Yes.
So that's a tough one.
Yeah.
But if I get to meet him in person, it's definitely a hug and so good to see you in person.
No, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's funny. Totally. This is why it's called off script, by the way, because I can go off script if I want.
Oh, there you go.
So yesterday we had a networking and it was so fun to see somebody that I literally have been connected with on LinkedIn for probably 7 years.
Wow.
Never met her in person until yesterday. So I can imagine that when you see that client that you've been working with for so long, to see them off the screen in IRL in real life, that's pretty cool. All right. What builds credibility faster? Expertise, presence, or consistency?
Consistency.
And why do you say that?
Because I am consistent with my clients. If I meet with someone and they're good, and I tell them straight up, hey, you're doing great. If anything changes, come and let me know.
Yeah.
And then if they come back to me, where I consistently do the same thing I did the first time. Tell me what's going on. Where are you at? How are things moving for you personally and professionally?
Yeah.
And do you have enough money to retire the way that you want to?
Right.
Same lifestyle, because, when you retire, you're on a 7-day vacation every day.
Exactly. All right. What's the number one trust killer that you often see?
Trust killer.
Trust killer. Yep.
Well, obviously, if you tell a lie.
Yes. Yes.
That trust is built on open communication that's honest and truthful. So that works both ways too. When I have a client who might say to me one thing and then all of a sudden I find out that's not how it was, it's not that they've said a lie to me, but they didn't tell me the truth. And so I'm going to ask them, why was it that you didn't tell me about this?
Or an omission.
An omission.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is we have fears and frustrations about talking to somebody like myself.
Yeah.
Right? What are they going to think about what I'm doing?
Right.
What,
Right. Didn't do it wrong.
Right. Right. So it may not just be that, but I would definitely say not telling the truth.
Yeah. Okay, last one. What is the number one leadership lesson that has stuck with you over the years?
Leadership. I've been in different areas of leadership over my 32-year career, especially in associations that are dealt with
Mm-hmm.
financial, National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, Million Dollar Roundtable are some of the organizations that I've stuck to and
Yeah.
have been members of my entire career. And that leadership is great because when you're in business by yourself,
Yeah.
it's tough and you need somebody to understand what you're going through to help you,
Yes.
mentor you through
Yeah.
those things. And so I've had great mentors. Nelson Nash, who wrote Becoming Your Own Banker, he
Mm-hmm.
and I mentored for over 18 years
Wow.
together before he passed.
Yeah.
Um, Don Blatton of Circle of Wealth, the
Mm-hmm.
software that I use to help people understand where things are at when they see the private reserve strategy. It
Yeah.
was created by Don Blatton and his team at Circle
Very
of
cool.
Wealth. And so it's just having those people to follow
Mm-hmm.
that have led me in a positive direction.
Yeah. I love that.
And I'm hoping to lead people in a positive direction as I meet with them as well.
Yeah. And I mean, talk about positive. You have great positive energy, which I really appreciate. And I know one of the things that you have consistently talked about when we've gotten together is the necessity for you to early on in your career get help. So what age should somebody be talking to a financial planner? When's the right time?
Well, I think parents should be helping their children
Mm-hmm.
talk to them about sound financial planning,
Yeah.
saving money.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't get the birthday present for 50 or $100 and go spend it.
Yeah.
What if you put 10% of what you got from a birthday gift into a savings account so you can save up for something larger in the
Yeah.
future? So early as possible. But, generally at times when you get
Mm-hmm.
your first job that is meaningful,
Right.
um, I would say the average age of people who get serious about the work I do is in their
Mm-hmm.
30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had a young couple come in. Um, they've got, a baby, but they've got college debt. Almost every young person in their 30s has college debt,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to buy a house.
Yeah.
And other things have happened where they've had to rack up their credit card, but they've got good incomes. And so
Yeah.
they're like, we're going to hurry up and pay off this credit card as
Right.
fast as we can. And I'm like, well, slow down a little bit because the credit cards got there because you needed something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a cost of a lifestyle that you chose to lead. So
Yeah.
that's fine. That'll cost will be there. But if you ignore the protection elements right now
Mm-hmm.
and just keep sending all that money to the credit card companies without keeping anything back for yourself,
Oh.
it's going to just repeat and repeat. And I've seen that
Yeah.
happen time and time again.
Yeah. I think too that it's such a major conversation that it feels, first of all, it just feels heavy thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then, there's some, I think for a lot of people, some embarrassment about talking about their finances if they haven't been really savvy in the
Right.
past.
Right.
And the thing is that the example that you just gave is of some younger people that already know that they need help. It's not that it was a mistake. It was
Right.
a choice at the time.
Right.
And now the best choice is to ask for your help, to get some good guidance to move forward in a way that makes sense for everybody
Right.
and allows them to have that life that they want to lead and not dig deeper, right?
Right. That's
Yeah.
the procrastination. The longer they
Yeah.
procrastinate, the worse it will get.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's talk about that. How do you come up with a plan? How important is a plan to have? So here you are, maybe you're in your, late 20s, you're now in a job that feels pretty secure.
Mhm.
You're starting to think about having a family. Where does the plan come in? What does that look like?
Well, first, it's really about what are you doing, right? What is
Yeah.
their lifestyle? So I need to hear about their life because, it's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all.
Yeah.
And although a lot of what I call soundbite financial planning out
Yeah.
there makes it sound like that's what it is. Put all
Right.
your money in the 401k and pay off your debt and,
Yeah.
all this little soundbite, but it doesn't work that way in real
Mhm.
life. Something bad happens. Your tires go bad. Your roof needs fixing.
Yeah.
There's one thing that happens all the time. So I always start by just checking out their paychecks. What does their employer give them as benefits?
Mhm.
Are they maintaining the correct balance of employer benefits to their own benefits? Be the first start. Then from their paycheck, who's in control of the money, right? Do they
Yeah.
have separate bank accounts? Do they have both bank accounts together? I want to hear a little bit about how they do banking.
Right.
And then how do they spend it? What do they decide? Do they have a budget, or is it just, oh, we need this, so we go buy this and we debit
Right.
this, or we, charge it on a credit,
Hope for
just
the
want to
best.
hear what they're doing. And then if there are areas that we can improve, we'll talk about whether they're open to those improvements.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's open to improvements. I hate to say that.
Right,
but
right.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
But you need to be open to hearing and improving. And if you are, then we'll find areas that work for that specific individual.
Yeah.
or that
And
family.
I know on your website, you have a foundation and an acronym design that you follow, right? It's your framework that you take your clients through. And, for those of you that are listening, that you're out there watching, make sure to drop by her website and look through that design acronym and that framework, because it's designed to really cover each step of making the plan, not only making the plan, but implementing it, the growth strategies, the nurturing, and all that good stuff.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah. So I think that's super important. So that's my 401.
Thank you.
Yes, your 411, right?
411?
Yeah. My info. Well, so, I mean, in a perfect world, everything would stay the same. You decide to reach out, you have your plan, and life goes on perfectly. But as we know, not to get down on things, but the economy changes. It's just part of life. So what happens when the economy changes? What is the plan then?
So, you're looking at different financial products that you own at that point.
Okay.
Right? You're going to have your 401k that may be pre-tax. You'll have your 401k that may be Roth. You might have an annuity. You'll have cash value life insurance. You'll have CDs. You'll have all sorts of areas that you have money. And if, for example, like gas prices, right?
Yeah.
That hits lifestyle. That hits your credit card. So are you pulling money away from buying groceries? Are you going, oh, I guess we're not going on that vacation now because instead of costing $500, it's going to cost $1,000 and we don't have it. When those types of things happen, there are different financial products that will work within that framework because inflation, although things will always go up in time, normally our incomes increase along the way with it.
Yeah.
The problem is when our incomes don't increase along with the inflation, then we have to fall back on all of these assets that we have.
Yeah.
Do we go and take a 401k loan? Do we go and take money out of our IRA? Do we liquidate a CD?
Right.
Or do we have the ability to leverage from an asset that will continue to grow, borrow from it, no banks, no credit reports, no anything. And when you're ready to pay it back, you can pay it back and you'll be right back where you should have been had you never used the money in the first place.
Right. Because you're prepared to borrow from yourself,
You're prepared to borrow from yourself.
Yeah. The bank of me.
There you go.
Yeah. The bank of me.
And the larger your bank gets, the better off you are.
Yeah, exactly.
To fight all those things.
It is a heavy conversation to many. I know, like, I start talking about money and my, handshake. it doesn't matter if I have it or I don't have it. I just don't love the conversation. I just want everything to be happy. And, as long as I can, do the things that I want to do, I feel happy. But that doesn't create a plan, right? And I think that's really important. And I love the fact that you love helping people that are in that space of either learning or in the space of preparing so that you can take a step back from, the 5 to 9,
right?
9 to 5. Sometimes it is 5 to 9 when I'm, get home and I'm still thinking about business. Right. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, like you said, just earlier today, when you're retired, that's 7 days of vacation. How are you going to afford that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't want to just sit at home.
Right.
I mean, there's all sorts of places to go when you don't have to do anything but do whatever you want.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
What is your one piece of advice you would give somebody that is trying to prepare to retire and has not had any help yet?
If they had no help, get some help, right? Because it's overwhelming, and what we think to be true about IRAs really aren't, or even 401ks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told the story to you before. My own father, when he was retiring from General Motors, was going to use most of his 401k to go buy a home in Florida. He was going to liquidate it.
Yeah.
And my mom told me, and I was new into the career, so he thought, she was a paralegal. Now she's in a financial planner.
Right,
How does that work?
right.
But anyway, I said, Dad, you need to sit down with me as though I'm not your daughter,
Yeah.
that I am a financial planner. And when I explained to him that if he pulled that money from the 401k, he'd be in a higher tax bracket, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, he's putting that cash into a piece of property in Florida that may or may not appreciate. And number three, he can't get access to that money anymore.
Right.
So he's kind of cutting off access to cash.
Yeah.
So they understood that leveraging their paid off home in Michigan to buy a second home in Florida gave them tax benefits, gave them flexibility of income. And ultimately, it unfortunately, when my dad passed away, gave my mom more flexibility to decide what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Today, she lives in Florida full time, but
Yeah.
initially, she was able to maintain two homes, one in Michigan and one in Florida, because they sat down and talked about how to use the money accurately. And people
Yeah.
are always, and I'll say this, they want to have their mortgage paid off, right? They want to
Yeah.
have their house paid off. Number one thing. Well, if having your house paid off costs you money in the future that you don't have access to unless you go knock on the door of the bank again and say, hey, can I get some of my equity back?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what also happens is if your house is paid off and you need access to cash and you're over 65, there are things called reverse mortgages that are out there. But again, if you don't have a plan, then that mortgage just builds up and,
Yeah.
you know.
There's so many moving pieces, and I think that's why it feels overwhelming to people, because it is not an easy answer, and it's a different answer for everybody, right? It's like it sounds like it's a big puzzle, and depending on the lifestyle that you're trying to have, depending on the income that you have, depending on the expenses that you have, the puzzle looks different.
Sure does.
And so you've got to have somebody like you that can design the puzzle in a way that makes sense.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, the picture looks great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? You know, there are 100-piece puzzles, there's 500-piece puzzles, you know, and I mean, it's very true because there's a lot of moving pieces that need to be put together and work.
And work.
To make
and
a
that's
framework.
the thing. Yeah. Because, you know, and if a piece is missing, then is the picture as good as it could have been?
No.
Maybe not. Look at us go. Just
I know.
designing
This
things
is
left and
fun,
right.
Karen.
All right. We are going to, well, first of all, thank you for walking through that, because I think it's really important. And for those of you out there too, connect with Gina on LinkedIn, because she runs a great series of videos and newsletters that will give you some insight on the regular about what to look out for, things to consider. And I think that's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
The knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So the more that you have, the better off you're going to be. All right. Are you ready for this, my friend?
Well, you know, one other thing I wanted to add to it was people always ask me, how do I get paid?
Oh, yes.
That is the number one thing. And there are so many different, you know, I had a client come in and say to me the other day, Gina, you know, are you a financial planner, or what do I call you when I tell people about you? And we kind of had a laugh about it, because I said, well, what do you think that I do? He goes, everything.
Yeah.
we laugh. But the reality is that I don't charge a fee, because when I sit down and talk with my clients, there are three ways that a financial planner will charge, right? There are some planners that will charge you an upfront fee just to sit down and talk to you. Some will charge you after they talk to you and know how much money you've got. They go, oh, well, my minimum is $1,500, but my maximum is $5,000.
Right.
And, you know, you'll fall in between here. And the reality is, the third way is that those same financial planners who charge a fee also have to sell the products, to whether it's assets under management, which they charge a fee for how much money is growing in the stock market, or if it's commission on a product like long-term care, annuities, life insurance, something of that nature. There's always a cost to buy into a financial product. And my whole motto has always been, I'm helping people find money they're unknowingly and unnecessarily transferring away. And you asked me, the clients that I like the most are the clients who were honest with each other, right?
Yeah.
You see how I get paid. It's not out of your pocket.
Right.
But you can see because you understand how these financial products work, that you're moving forward. So would you rather pay me a fee and a commission, or would you rather just pay me a commission? But the third way I get paid are referrals, Karyl.
Yeah.
And it's great that I get people all the time, hey, I need you to talk to my son or daughter, which is where I'm at now. For 32 years in this career, I am now talking to the children of my first clients.
Yeah.
It is cool.
And which is, again, to kind of wrap it up, the reason that you are licensed in so many different states because of the referrals to be able to help those people. So, well, congratulations on 32 years in business, because that is amazing. We're going to wrap it up with the magic bowl. So go ahead and pick something out of here. It may be about Detroit. It might be about something completely irrelevant. Oh, I'm going to read it for you because I have chicken scratch handwriting.
All right.
All right. Ooh. What is a risk that paid off?
What is a risk? Marrying my husband.
I want to know why that was a risk.
Oh, it wasn't a risk. Well, it's kind of a funny story because we courted for such a short time.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we met on a blind date and we kind of hit it off from there. And one thing after we got, he had children, I had children. We melded our families together. In fact, our children gave us away when the preacher said, who gives this man and woman to be married? They all went, we do.
Oh, how cute
It was so cute.
How long did you date for before you got married?
Like 7 months.
Oh, and now you've been married for?
We just celebrated 34 years.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, we're just going to end it on that note. Well, cheers to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Risk equals rewards so often, and that is a great way to end this. So thank you for stopping by. For those of you, again, that are watching or listening, make sure that you take matters into your own hands, design the future that you would like, and check out Miss Gina Wells and Financial Design Strategies. We will talk to you guys another day. Make sure to like and follow, and we'll see you later.
Bye.